This is my top 10 choice of hamster cages for 2025 for the UK, Europe and the US. The choice is my personal one and is based on a combination of size, ease of use, safety and cost. There have been quite a few new cages and enclosure options in the past year, and it's great there are more and more options. There is actually quite a lot of choice these days, which can be confusing, so I hope this will help you make the right choice for you and your hamster and within your budget. All the cages and enclosures listed meet the welfare guidelines of approximately 100 cm by 50 cm or equivalent floor space. This list only includes commercial cages that are easily available and with no DIY needed. Most of the cages don't come with a suitable wheel, and this will need getting separately. Syrian hamsters need a 28 cm or larger wheel, and dwarf hamsters and Roborovsky hamsters need a 20 to 21 cm wheel or larger. So on with the list. At number 10 is the Ferplast Domster 100. This is a fairly new cage from Ferplast, which has a deep perspex base for bedding and a barred top section. The frame is FSC wood. The whole rooftop opens and also has two smaller doors inset into the roof, plus small doors at the side of the bars. The whole top section lifts off the base. It's an interesting hybrid cage, and it's only at number 10 because some hamsters may chew the wood corners and edges, and it is quite expensive. So if you have a particularly chewy hamster, this one might not be for you. I think taking the whole top section off might be a bit cumbersome, especially if you use the shelves. However, the large removable barred roof would help for spot cleaning. But bear in mind the height of any stand or cupboard it would stand on, so you can reach the top access. For access to the hamster, the side doors are quite small, so I think this cage would work best for a hamster that is not too shy. So a gregarious, non-chewy hamster perhaps. It's 100 cm by 50 cm by 61 cm tall. You would need at least 10 inches of bedding, however, or the cage would be too tall and have fall risks, and even with 10 inches of bedding, this is only really suitable for Syrian hamsters due to the height. There is no mention of bar spacing, but it looks narrower than 1 cm and says it's also suitable for mice, so it's likely to have mouse bar spacing, which is about 7 mm. Personally, I would bin the plastic contents of this cage, although some might find the food dish useful. The house is too small and so is the wheel. There is also a 120 cm version of this cage, but it's too tall for hamsters in my opinion at 66.5 cm. The Ferplast Domster 100 is available on Amazon and Port and Aquapet, and also directly from Ferplast. It costs £220 from Ferplast, although there is a 15% off in the winter sale. Amazon are selling it for £220, and Port and Aquapet are currently selling it for £209.94, including delivery. This cage is only available in the UK and Europe. At number 9 is the Pets at Home Habitat 3. This is the cheapest cage on the list at £55. It has a good amount of floor space and measures 95.3 cm by 57 cm deep by 41 cm tall. It also has narrow bar spacing, which would be suitable for dwarf hamsters or Roborovsky hamsters. The main reason it's only at number 9 is because the access is limited, with just a small door on the front and a small door on top. This means you'd probably need to remove the barred top for spot cleaning, but it may suit for a gregarious hamster who is keen to come out. The height is a good height for dwarf hamsters, but a bit on the low side for a Syrian hamster with an 11-inch wheel, as it wouldn't allow for enough bedding depth, although you could have one deep bedding end. The cage would need bedding panels to allow for deep bedding. This cage is only available in the UK. At number 8 is the Niteangel Vista enclosure, which is made of MDF aspen and perspex and is a flat pack cage which you need to construct. The panels are held in place by external silicone bands. This is a very popular enclosure in the US and is also available in the UK on Amazon. It comes in both a medium 103 cm version and a large 119 cm version. This cage has a sloping front door, which means access is good for spot cleaning and to access the hamster, which is a good design. The reason it's only at number 8 is it's quite expensive, and there are other non-wood perspex enclosures available for less money. The medium version is 40.1 inches by 22.7 inches deep by 22.9 inches high at the rear, which is approximately 103 centimetres by 57.6 centimetres deep by 55.8 centimetres high, and it costs £278.95 from Niteangel or £239.95 from Amazon. The large version is 47 inches by 22.7 inches deep by 26.9 inches tall, which is approximately 119 centimetres by 57.6 centimetres by 68 centimetres tall, and costs £338.95 from Niteangel and £275.95 from Amazon, although bear in mind that Amazon prices can fluctuate up as well as down. In the US, the medium version costs $259 from Niteangel, and the large version costs $309.99. This enclosure is available in the US and the UK. Casters can be bought separately for these enclosures if required. At number 7 is the Skyline Barney cage from Zooplus. This is a well-known hamster cage that wasn't available for a long time due to the pandemic and Brexit, but is now available again in the UK and Europe. It has narrow 7mm bar spacing, so is suitable for dwarf hamsters as well as Syrians. It has a large amount of floor area and measures 100 centimetres by 56 centimetres deep by 46 centimetres tall. It has one large top door and two smaller front doors. The 7mm bar spacing also means bedding doesn't really fall out of the bars if you use paper bedding, although you may still want to use bedding panels in some areas, and Viking Laser make perspex bedding panels specifically to fit this cage. There is a link to Viking Laser in the description. I used to have this cage, and it's a good cage for any species of hamster, providing it's set up carefully to avoid fall risks with enough depth of bedding. It comes with wood accessories, a shelf and a ramp, and also a large wood house. It also comes with an 8-inch plastic wheel, which is just about big enough for a dwarf hamster to start with, although it may be noisy. The advantage of this cage is it's more or less ready to start using. You just need to add bedding and enrichment and a water bottle or bowl, although it is a good idea to paint the wood items with Plasticoat. If it's for a Syrian, then you'd need to get a wheel as well. However, I think there are better options for Syrians. The Barney cage costs £87.59 from Zooplus with free shipping. Bear in mind that if wanting perspex bedding panels, the cost would increase, and you may then want to consider other cages. This cage can be bought second-hand on eBay sometimes, though, for £30 to £40. This cage is only available in the UK and Europe. At number 6 is the Bucatstate 3 100cm perspex tank, and there is now also a 120cm version. These are very popular tank-style enclosures with a metal frame and perspex side panels which come flat pack and you put together. It's one of the few tank-style enclosures that also has a large front opening door as well as a top opening roof. The roof has two separate top opening sections now. A large front opening door can be convenient for spot cleaning and also interaction with the hamster. These cages hold plenty of bedding, although the manufacturers say no more than 24 centimetres or 9 inches of bedding for the 100cm enclosure and 28 centimetres or 11 inches of bedding for the 120cm enclosure. Any more than that and you might find the sides bow outwards. The Bucatstate 3 100cm measures 100 centimetres by 50 centimetres by 52.5 centimetres tall and costs £180.49 from Amazon. The Bucatstate 3 120 measures 120 centimetres by 60 centimetres deep by 62 centimetres high and costs £237.49. If that is too expensive and you really want a Bucatstate, then the Bucatstate Mark II 100cm is currently on sale at Amazon for about £150. The Bucatstate enclosures are available in the UK, US and Europe. Casters can be bought separately for them if required. At number 5 is the Savic Plaza 100 cage, which is an ever-popular good basic hamster cage which is a reasonable price. It's a knockdown cage, so disassembles for storing flat and has a large front opening door, which is good for interaction with the hamster and means the top barred section doesn't need removing. Spot cleaning and cleaning can be done through the large front door. This cage has 9.5mm bar spacing, although I measure it at 8.5mm approximately. As with other barred cages, it needs bedding panels of some kind to hold deeper bedding, and Viking Laser make perspex bedding panels tailored to fit this cage. They also make full perspex panels for this cage to turn it into a tank. You use the perspex panels instead of the bars. However, this option doubles the cost of the cage, and you might want to consider a different option if you want a perspex tank. On the other hand, it's a very easy cage to manage and move and store flat. Alternatively, you could use grass mats or cardboard for bedding panels, which are inexpensive options. Bear in mind though that some hamsters will chew the cardboard off. Not all hamsters chew cardboard, however. This is a good basic cage for all species of hamster. However, for dwarf hamsters you would need at least 10 inches of bedding throughout the whole cage to avoid fall risks from a height. Female Syrians would probably need something a bit larger than this cage. There is a larger version of this coming up in a moment. The Savic Plaza 100 cage measures 100 cm by 50 cm deep by 50 cm tall and is available from Pets at Home for £80. It's also available on Amazon, but costs quite a bit more on Amazon. This cage is only available in the UK and Europe. At number 4 is the Ferplast Criceti 120. This is another new cage, and it's quite exciting to see Ferplast have made a larger version of their Criceti 100 cage. Although it looks similar to the Criceti 100, there are some differences apart from the size. Firstly, it now has a couple of small doors on the front bars in addition to the whole top roof lifting off. This is a welcome change to give more access from the front as well as the top. Secondly, it has narrower bar spacing than the Criceti 100. It has 7mm bar spacing, which means it's suitable for dwarf hamsters and Roborovsky hamsters as well as Syrian hamsters. It has a large amount of floor space at 119 cm by 58 cm deep by 52 cm tall. As with other barred cages, you would need to use something for bedding panels for deeper bedding, and personally I would bin the small plastic house that comes with the cage, but the food and water bowls might be useful. It costs £159 direct from Ferplast, although there is currently 15% off as part of a winter sale. Ferplast also sell a cage stand to fit this cage, which is 49 cm high and costs £52. This cage is only available in the UK and Europe. At number 3 is the Savic Plaza 120 cage. This is the bigger version of the Savic Plaza 100 cage, but is quite a lot bigger. It's 118 cm wide by 64 cm deep by 52 cm tall, so it has a very large floor area. Otherwise it looks the same as the Plaza 100, but also has a large top opening door as well as the large front opening door, which is useful with the extra depth of the cage. I've used this cage and it's a lovely big cage with good access for interaction to the hamster, and all spot cleaning and cleaning can be done through the large front door without the need to remove the barred top. Viking Laser also make perspex bedding panels tailor-made to fit this cage. It's a great cage for Syrian hamsters and could be suitable for dwarf hamsters, providing you have at least 10 inches of deep bedding to avoid fall risks. The Savic Plaza 120 cage is available from Pets at Home for £100. This cage is only available in the UK and Europe. At number 2 is the Skyline Marrakesh 120. This is a tank style enclosure that has been around for quite a long time in Germany, but is now available in the UK from Zooplus. Previously only the smaller version was available in the UK, which wasn't quite big enough. This 120 cm version has a good sized floor area and is a sturdy construction, apparently made from real wood and glass. The wood parts are lacquered to make it wipe clean, and the front, back and base are glass. It has a metal grid top with narrow 7mm bar spacing and a mesh ventilation strip in the rear glass panel. The lid has a servo lift mechanism, so easy to lift up and down without it falling on your fingers. Although this cage is partly made of wood, the sides are very smooth and it's not considered a chew risk like some other wood cages. There is nothing for a hamster to get their teeth into with its smooth sides. It's easy to clean and it also looks very nice if you're looking for something to look good. Although it's called the Marrakesh 120, the measurements are actually 115 cm by 50 cm deep by 50 cm tall. So it's bigger than some 100 cm cages, but not as large and deep as some 120 cm cages, which could be a good thing if you would prefer a size in between. This is basically a tank with a lid, even though it's not all glass. It comes in either natural wood colour or white and costs £228.99 from Zooplus with free shipping. This enclosure is only available in the UK and Europe. At number 1 is the Savic Aura 120 Plexi. This is another hybrid cage. It has a deep base for bedding but a barred top section. This was also my number 1 cage last year, but is now widely available at a very reasonable price. It's number 1 because of the size, good access, the deep base with perspex and narrow bar spacing, and the fact it's such a reasonable price for the size of the cage. It's now available at Pets at Home for £120. The base holds 10 inches of bedding and the bar spacing is narrow 6mm bar spacing, and as mentioned earlier, bedding doesn't really fall out of narrow bar spacing even if it went higher than the 10-inch base. This cage has the same large front opening door and large top door as the Savic Plaza 120 and is the same dimensions in terms of floor space at 118cm by 64cm deep. It is 10cm taller, however, at 62cm tall, due to the addition of the 10cm perspex section above the base. I have used this cage and it is really big. Although it's the same dimensions as the Plaza 120, the additional height does make it seem really big. It's important to have it standing on something the right height for you to access everything through the front. I'd say perhaps a 50cm high cupboard or stand. This is a great cage for Syrian hamsters. Despite the narrow bar spacing, I don't think it's the best option for dwarf hamsters or Roborovsky hamsters unless you're prepared to adapt it due to the height, either by adding a full level or having about 15 inches of bedding. With 10 inches of bedding, it is still too big a drop from the top of the cage for a dwarf hamster. It's a fantastic cage though and could be adapted for dwarf hamsters. The perspex panels clip to the bottom of the barred section rather than the cage base itself, and I have another video showing how to assemble it. Basically, this is the largest cage for the most reasonable price with good access. I hope this has helped you decide which cage is best suited for you, your home, your hamster and your wallet. Both barred and tank style cages have their advantages and disadvantages, and some of it comes down to owner preference as well as ease of use and cost. You can also find a longer list of available cages and enclosures on the Hamster Forum. The link is in the description. Thank you for watching and feel free to comment or ask any questions. Bye for now.